What if I could tell you could get ahead of 99% of the people around you and do so well in 5 short years that you could actually quit your job and actually start your own business or your own venture? This is exactly how I did it for myself working in sales and how I scaled myself from 50K to 220K and eventually leaving my job. This is my story. Okay, so now you've entered into your sales job and you're a little bit nervous because you don't know what to do with yourself and how to actually conduct yourself in the next couple of years, maybe in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Do you have a plan for yourself within this sales job? Do you know exactly where you want to end your career? That is the question. And I want to share with you in this video 6 ways of how to brainwash yourself to making 6 figures and to also keep the 6 figures in your bank account as well. So step number 1 is become obsessed about the product or the service that you are selling on a day-to-day basis. One of the biggest reasons why salespeople burn out is because they don't even like what it is that they're selling. They don't even believe in the CEO. They don't like their founder. They don't even like their sales manager. They don't like their team. And also they don't really like selling the thing that they want to sell. So the most important thing is to actually choose the thing that you want to sell. That helps tremendously. In every single role that I've gone to, I really believe in the thing that they're trying to sell to the market. Why? Because it adds value to the market. Whether it was software, whether it was marketing, whether it was startup, whether it was matured, scale up, every single thing that I wanted to sell, it came through in the conviction of my voice. So what I want you to do is have a look at the top 3 services that you've been selling in your current career or in your previous history as well. Do you actually like selling that thing, or are you just getting that job to pay the bills, pay the rent, pay for your lifestyle? If you're currently selling something just to pay for your lifestyle, you might need to reassess. Can I find something that I deeply love to sell, that I want to study on the weekends? This is a really good litmus test. On the weekends, on Saturday night, am I happy to watch 2 to 3 hours of this specific product or this service, and I want to get so good at selling it that I'm happy to learn about this on the weekend? Am I happy to learn about this via a podcast or buy myself a book to learn about this? If the answer is no, then you're probably not selling the right thing, because naturally this is what you're going to have to do in your own business. So why wouldn't you sell with this much intensity and this much vigor for somebody else's business? Sabra used to always tell me, if you're not going to give it your absolute all selling for my business, you're not going to be doing that for your own business. And I took this so literally. This was $1 million tutorial lesson in itself, because I took that attitude to every single product that I sold until I was at that point where I was ready to leave my 9 to 5. But every single product that I sold, I believed in it, and I believed that the market wanted it at the same time as well. So see if that's something that you can start to look for in the market. What kind of services do I use every single day that I love to sell this thing? Is it a piece of software? Is it a service? Is it an e-commerce brand? These are the sorts of things that you want to have a look at in your everyday life, so that you're not actually incongruent with your life. You're selling the things that you already believe in. Tip number 2 is install time blockers. So I have time blockers for every single thing on my laptop, on my mobile phone. I use Freedom. I use a Freedom app. It's a paid subscription, so it locks down every single social media channel that I have for web browsing, for social media. I install also a physical box as well. It's got a timer in it. And in certain times of the year when I want to have my head down, for example, if I have pockets of deep learning, I want to put my phone inside of that box so I can't even get to it. There's literally no way I can jailbreak that for an extended period of time. And only after I finish what I needed to do I go back to the box and play with my phone. So one thing that you can do right now is go to your screen time on your mobile phone and see over the course of the week, how much time are you dedicating to scrolling on your phone? And I have seen people, when I'm running my sales teams, I ask this question to my exact sales team. And some people have spent 6 hours per day on a phone, and you wonder why they're not getting ahead. How can that person ever get ahead compared to the person who's installed a time blocker? They've put their phone somewhere else and they're just in deep study mode. When you're in deep study mode, you're going to learn a skill out of that, or you're going to learn something out of that that's going to help you move yourself forward. So there's always going to be somebody out there who's willing to go into deep focus mode, and that is the real competitor out there. Tip number 3 is heavily invest in yourself. So for example, when I first got into sales, I was on 50K, and over the course of the 5 years, I scaled myself to 220K. But even when I was making 50K, there's always some way, somehow, that you can put a little bit of money into books, secondhand books. You can go to your local library. There's podcasts, which is free, YouTube, which is free, until you have a little bit of money to put aside. Even when I was making 50K, I still forced myself to spend at least 1 to 2 grand per year to actually spend on my education, because there's no such thing as a free lunch. Everything that's valuable is on the other side of a paid program or a paid subscription or a paid book. Of course, you can start with the local library, and I would highly recommend that. Nothing wrong with that. I also did that as well. But if you are a very hungry learner, you will grow out of this phase very quickly. And that is when I would highly recommend you to put as much money as you can towards your personal education. Tip number 4, focus on larger deal sizes. At the beginning, if you're in year 1 to year 2 of your sales career, of course you're going to be stuck selling transactional deals. That's the name of the game. That is to work on your rapid cycling. And if you can do things fast, and then you can do things fast with bigger deals, and you marry these two skills together, guess what? You're going to be making more money. So if I were you and I had to start all over again, of course I would not mind getting into transactional deals, but I have a timeline for this. I would say maximum 1 to 2 years, and then try to escalate up the chain, which is larger deals. Larger deals in multiple different industries means different things. But for me, a large deal is anywhere between 300K upwards in deal size. And the largest deal I ever did was 600K. But that's more than enough. You don't need to be selling 7-figure deals to be making a lot of money. Nothing wrong with that. So what I would recommend is start with smaller deals, move into medium-sized deals, and move into larger-sized deals, and then to eventually run a team, just so you've got that entire experience. What you want to do is you want to earn to learn, and then you start to go into rapid cycling. Tip number 5 is you've got to drop those dropkick friends. You know what I'm talking about, the ones who take up so much of your bandwidth. They're always complaining, but they're not willing to do anything about it. And also, for me personally, I like friends who are very motivated, who are self-driven, and who have same values for me. For me, I like friends who are family first, they're athletic, they like sports, and who are also very hungry in terms of learning. It's something that they would happily do, and you don't have to push them. If they fit outside of this category, most likely I'm not going to hang around you anyways. So have a look at the top 5 friends that you speak to on a regular basis. Do they prioritize their health? Do they go to the gym? Do they look nice? Do they spend enough time with education? And are they on the same track as you? There is a season for everything, and it might be the season to actually pause your friendships on hold until you can actually get yourself to a certain point. And in life, there are sacrifices. You're going to have to make a choice. Do I want friendships, or do I want to actually build wealth? Tip number 6, which is the final one, which is make time for health and recovery. One of the things that I did very well at the beginning in year 1 and year 2 is that I saw a gap between most of the guys that I was selling with. Yes, they were really great at selling, but they didn't prioritize their health, and they didn't prioritize any time in their recovery as well. So what this looked like was maybe they spent a bit too much time drinking, and maybe they spent a bit too much time going out to eat and spending their funds, or maybe they spent a bit too much time with e-commerce. And when I saw that type of behavior, I completely did the absolute opposite. And I said, for the next 5 years, I'm not even going to come up for air. I'm going to go run for 5 years straight, and I'm going to cut out all the things that I think is going to hurt me. And instead, I'm going to replace it with positive habits as well. So for example, some of the things that I would highly recommend is maybe your gym has a sauna. Maybe your gym has an infrared sauna. Or maybe you want to have a look at gyms that have these facilities. For me, I like sauna, yoga, lifting weights, and I also like friends that have these same qualities as well. And over the course of the last 5 years, I also prioritize walking. So on most days, I like to hit anywhere between 8,000 steps to 10,000 steps. And that's really important to be able to manage yourself long term. And that's all for this video today. Leave me a like and a subscribe and share with me your comments as well. See you in the next video.